Scotty boy, how are we doing today?
We're doing good. Week 16, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It's a great weekend for football. We got the first playoff game right now is on for college. We got NFL tomorrow. We got games on Sunday. We got games on Christmas this week. It's a great week for football. As you can see, my score has gotten so large that it is too wide for the green box at the top. Above 100 wins. I will say congrats to Miami for clawing one back. We got there's enough time for you to make a run. If you can get some nice picks and some decent weeks here, you could catch me. But it's going to take some work.
It's gonna take some work. Yeah, last week, 6-6 to your 5-7. I've been chopping away. I've been chopping away. Unfortunately, it's only a game at a time, so we still got a ways to go here. But all right, let's go ahead and get into it. We have 12 games. Start with the Saturday games tomorrow. We got the Texans and the Chiefs. Chiefs are favored by 3.5. They're the home team. Total sitting at 42.5. Scott, what do you got here?
Look, we've said it before. The Chiefs are the best, most fraudulent team in the NFL. I say that. People are probably like, what are you talking about? There's a reason the Chiefs are sitting number one right now, and they're finding ways to win the games, but they're also getting lucky. And I was hoping that things would change the last couple of weeks, and they have not. But Houston's a team that's fighting for a playoff spot. They're a good team. They're a young team. They're a fast team. They can score offensively if they come to play. But it's hard to play in Arrowhead, traveling to Kansas City from Texas. It's probably going to be pretty cold. CJ Stroud, we'll see how he does. I think it all comes down to Houston's offense. I think both sides of the football, Kansas City and Houston, will be able to score points here. I think it will come down to, is Houston's offense coming to play, or are we going to see them lay an egg like we've seen in the past? I think they're going to come to play. It's a late season push for them. It's a must-win game for them. Kansas City could coast. They're still trying to lock the 1 seed. For that reason, I'm going to go with the over 42.5 because life's too short to bet the under.
I'm gonna go with the Texans plus 3.5. I was on it earlier this week when Mahomes was kind of questionable. He's gonna go. He's dealing with that high ankle sprain. I just can't really trust that he's gonna be his full self in this one. CJ Stroud is much better against the spread as an underdog than he is as a favorite. So I'm gonna go with the Texans plus 3.5. I really don't trust either one of these teams. I think it's gonna be sloppy. I think both quarterbacks will probably have a pick or two. But give me Texans to find a way to at least get the cover in this one. Chiefs will probably pull it out in the end. It seems to, be the trend this year. But I think Texans get the cover. Shout out to the chat real quick. We got Gator Dave in the chat, Evelyn, Ian. We appreciate y'all joining in on this Friday evening. We were supposed to be on last night, and technical difficulties pushed us to tonight. So we appreciate y'all hopping on. Next game, Scott. You're probably game of the week.
Not
AFC
just
North
my
matchup.
game of the week. This is going to be a good game.
All right.
People
Go ahead. Go ahead. You got it. You got it. You got it.
AFC North football, especially the Steelers versus Baltimore.
It sells.
It's always a good game.
It's all about
sells.
the bread.
People want to see it. It's on Saturday. Look, I'll be honest. 2 great games on Saturday. I think both games are going to be very good. I'm looking forward to it. Interesting fact, Lamar Jackson has never played against the Steelers in Baltimore. His first year, Joe Flacco was playing. His second year, I think he was hurt. Third year was COVID, something like that. It's interesting. He has never played and started a game against Pittsburgh in Baltimore. I'm not sure that really matters, but it's an interesting fact. I'm concerned. I'm very concerned. I said it last week. If we can score points against Philly, I would, even if we lose the game, I'd feel okay. But now it's, where's our offense? Is our offense going to show up? And if they don't show up and our defense plays, mid-tier defense, or someone gets hurt like TJ Watt did last week, we can't compete in these games against good teams. Our defense was not the best against the Eagles. We played sloppy, and our offense did not come to play. George Pickens out against Philly last week, out again this week. He's already out, which I get it. We've locked up a playoff spot, so maybe rest him for the playoffs. I understand that, but it's a test for us and our offense against these good teams, Baltimore, and then we play Kansas City on Christmas Day. It's a test for us because we don't have the deep threat. We've got to figure out how to make it work on the ground. We got to get creative with our tight ends. We got to feed the ball to Calvin Austin, Van Jefferson. We don't have many options. So I'm worried here. Baltimore's defense is good. We can lock up the AFC North with the win. If they beat us, same for them. So it's a game with everything on the line. I'm worried. I will say AFC North football, you've heard me say it before, I'll take the points here, Steelers +7. I will say, if it was flipped and it was Ravens +7, I'd be taking the Ravens here. I'm just taking the points. My confidence in my team is dwindling because our offense is suffering. But give me the Steelers +7. Let's see what happens. I'm just banking on a close game, AFC North, strong defensive battle, and hoping for the best here.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's going to be closer than 7 points. That's what I'm banking on. Steelers as a dog, isn't it just not something you want to get in front of? Mike Tomlin has generally, I won't say owned Lamar Jackson, but he's found a way to constrain, his ability to be that dual threat that he is week in and week out. So whatever he's doing, he's going to have a game plan for him. I think it's low scoring. It's classic AFC North football. It'll be a good one to watch on Hard Knocks on Tuesday. See how they prepared for this game and whatnot. But go ahead and give me the Steelers. I'm with you, Scott, to get the cover here. I think they probably get the outright, too. I'm not betting against Mike Tomlin in this situation, especially for the division. This game, winner of it is first place in the division. Big matchup with only 2 games to play after this week. So I look for Tomlin to get it done.
I love it.
All right, moving on. We got here, you take the next one, Scott. You got the next one. Take it over.
All right, the next one, we are going to the Lions visiting Chicago. Lions come off a tough loss against the Bills last week. It looked a lot closer than it was. There was a lot of points scored towards the end of the game. The Lions fought back. In the end, the Bills are just rolling right now. The Lions are good, but they are very injured at every position. It's the most injuries I think I've ever seen on an NFL team when it comes to starters. There's 22 people. And the majority, like 20 of their players there were starters or backups, offense and defense. Good news for them is Montgomery got an opinion. I think I saw the news today. He is not having season-ending surgery. He avoided that, which is good, but honestly, we probably won't see him for a few weeks. Look, I like the Lions to come back here, make a statement win against a Bears team that's sorry. The one thing you have to be careful of is the Bears have nothing to lose. They also really have nothing to play for, and I think that they're a team in shambles. You've heard me say it before. But I like the Lions to come out, perform. Dan Campbell is going to have them ready to go. They need the win. They're trying to lock up a 2 seed, make a push in the NFC. They need the wins. They're already locked in the playoffs. They're hurt. I don't think they're going to do anything crazy or make any risks. But it's 6.5, which I love. So I'm going to take the Lions -6.5. If it goes to 7.5, I probably stay away from it personally, but I'm going to go with Lions 6.5. Just cannot trust the Bears at all, and the Lions can find ways to score.
Yeah, I think this is a wake-up game for the Lions. I'm not getting in front of this team after a loss. I think it was important for it to happen when it did. They can correct some things, move into the playoffs, where they want to be. They're still fighting for that number 1 seed, trying to hold on to it. So I'm with you, Scott. I like it at 6.5. If it goes over that 7, maybe stay away from it. Bears gave them a good fight the first matchup this year. But yeah, I'm with you. I like the Lions.
Yeah, and shout out to Kevin. We see you with the Glizzies in the chat. Ian's got a good point. If there's anyone that a backup is going to go all out for, and a coach that's going to find a way to make a backup player productive on a field, it's Dan Campbell. You're going to play for him if you're a backup. And as Dan Campbell, he's going to get those players to play. So, yeah, no, I'm all in on the Lions this week.
All right, moving on. We got the Browns making their way to Cincinnati. In-state matchup here in division. AFC North, another battle, another Hard Knocks special. Bengals are favored by 8. Total sitting at 46.5. Scott, what do you got?
A lot of points. It's a lot of points for an AFC North game. But if there's any team that can continue to score, they can get hot and they can torch you offensively no matter what defense you have, no matter how you're playing. It's Cincinnati right now. It's Joe Burrow right now. It's Jamar Chase. It's T. Higgins. It's Chase Brown. They're playing well. Their offensive line is playing well. They're making a push. They have a line to the playoffs. Now, it's not all in their hands, but they have to win out. So it's a must-win game for them. Cleveland, they're playing spoiler, but it's at home versus Cincy. I just think Cincy's going to go in there, and it's going to be too much offensive power for Cleveland to stick around with. So I'm going to take Cincy -8 because I think that they're just going to score nonstop on this team. And I see Pompano Joe in the chat dropping some fish. maybe he's looking out for your fish later, Miami. We'll get there.
We can only hope. I can't trust the Bengals to cover this spread. It's too many points for me. The Browns have given Joe Burrow problems in his career. That being said, I cannot trust the Browns. They are benching Jameis Winston. They're going with Dorian Thompson-Robinson this week. He has had a lot of issues stretching the ball down the field with deep passes, something that the Browns, granted, Jameis only won 2 starts, when he's been the starter this year for the Browns. However, his ability to stretch the ball and throw that deep ball keeps the defenses on their toes, opens up the run game. You take that away, I just don't know how the Browns are going to be able to score too much in this one. So you might have guessed it, Scott. We are going to go with the under in this one. We're going to get it started with the under 46.5 in this one. Divisional matchup, December football, nice and cold, AFC North, trench play, gonna be ugly. Give me like a 19-9 kind of game. Absolute snore fest. Terrible. You won't want to watch it. It's going to be sloppy. Under 46.5.
I could not disagree more. I think Cincinnati's going to put up 35. Their offense is rolling right now against good defenses. I mean, 44 against us, 34 against the Chargers, 34 against the Ravens, 27 against the Cowboys, 37 against the Titans. They can put up points. They put up 38 against the Ravens. The first time they played them, I'm not scared of them putting up points. The over is going to get you in trouble like it does every week.
The under. Let's stick with the under here. It's a trend. It's coming back this week. Last week it was up and down. This week it's coming back full force. That's just the beginning. You wait. Next game we're talking is Rams and the Jets. Rams are making the cross-country trip to New Jersey to fight the New York Jets. Rams are a 3-point favorite in this one. I got the Rams. The Jets are poo-poo garbage. They're not a team. They're focused on so many different things. I feel like they don't have that cohesiveness that they really need. They haven't had it all season long. Apparently, the owner vetoed a Jerry Jeudy trade earlier this year because of his Madden rating, and that was the reason that he chose not to push that trade through. Wild stuff going on with the New York Jets franchise. Rams on the flip side, absolutely cooking lately. Matthew Stafford, absolutely dealing from the quarterback position. They're back healthy. They got Cooper Kupp back, Puka Nacua back. They're back trending in the right direction. They're making a run at the playoffs. I think they continue to do so. I think they get the win here in New York. I'm not really too worried about this one. So give me the Rams money line, Scott. What do you got?
Yeah, I'm with you. The Jets are, as you said, poo-poo garbage. They cannot get anything together. They're a team in shambles as well. The Rams right now are rolling. Wins over the Bills, 44-42, and the 49ers. Ugly win last week, but a win is a win against a tough division team. The NFC West right now is a 2-game battle. No one is out of the playoffs. No one is out of the division. Rams are sitting number 1 right now, tied with Seattle. Must-win game. All 4 of these teams are going to be playing lights out. And like you said, Stafford is wheeling and dealing right now. I think it's a no-brainer Rams money line, Rams -3. I think they're going to take care of the Jets.
Yeah. All right, moving on. We got the Eagles taking on the Commanders. Big game here in the NFC East. Eagles are a 3.5-point favorite in this one. Road favorite. Road favorites, generally speaking, have been pretty good this year, especially in the later half of the year from a straight-up standpoint. Against the spread, a little more even. But in terms of straight-up, road favorites have it by a long stretch. I just think this Eagles team is moving on a different trajectory right now. Jalen Hurts is playing fantastic football. Completely did a 180 from how he started this season. Commanders on the flip side, they've been a really great team against teams under 500. As for teams over 500, not so much. They've struggled a little bit, including Jaden Daniels. So I'm going to go with the Eagles in this one. This is a big one for the Eagles. They want to secure this division. In order to do that, they have to win this game. Give me the Eagles -3.5. Scott, what do you got?
Yeah, I'm with you. The Eagles can clinch the NFC East by beating the Commanders. The Commanders want to beat Philly because they want a higher seed if they can get it, make a push for the division. It's still there for them technically if the Eagles lose out and the Commanders win out. To your point, though, they struggle against above 500 teams. The Eagles are 12-2, 6-1 away. Commanders do play well at home. But interesting fact is Saquon Barkley has never won a division title since being in the NFL. And his quote was, he thinks it'd be cool if he and Philadelphia could accomplish that. So I think that he's going to be playing for something. He's going to be rushing. You said it. Philadelphia right now is running on all cylinders. Their defense looks good. Their offense looks fantastic. They can compete with everyone. Right now, they're a complete team. If the Lions were fully healthy, I'd say it's Lions and Eagles, the most complete teams right now in the NFL. Yeah. But people start to get comfortable at the end of the season. They're playing well. They're on a, most consecutive wins in franchise history this year. They're
like 10 or 11 or
comfortable where
something.
they're sitting. They're comfortable where they're sitting. They might look ahead of the Commanders because they're so comfortable with their playoff position, the way their team's performing, the health of their team. And for that reason, ladies and gentlemen, I'm taking the Commanders +3.5 because they want to spoil their rival's season at home. I think that they're going to come ready to play. They're going to play hard. It's 3.5. I love it at 3.5. Division game should be tough. There is a chance the Eagles win by 14. But I'm going to bet on the Manders. I want to see a tough game. I'd love to see them spoil the Eagles here. I think they're going to, they've got something to prove in the division. Yes, they're 9-5, but no one's considering them for anything really because they struggle against good teams. So I want them to come out, win this game. Give me the Manders +3.5. I want to see something awesome happen.
All right. Moving on. We're 6 games through. We got 6 more to go in tonight's show. One of the probably worst games of I had to. It's one of the worst games of the weekend. Jaguars and Raiders. You know where I'm going with it. I won't even waste your time. We're going the under 40.5 points. It's going to be terrible. Aiden O'Connell should get the start for the Raiders. I kind of lean towards the Raiders. I almost went that way. I'm going with the under. You still got the Mac Jones-led Jaguars. They're not hitting 20 points. Aiden O'Connell and these Raiders, they're not hitting 20 points. Give me the under 40.5 here. Scott, what do you got?
Yeah, look, I just can't get myself to do the under, even in a game as garbage as this. Don't turn it on. Don't waste your time. Don't look at it. Don't think about it. Don't watch it. I'm going to take Vegas money line because I don't trust the Jags and I trust the Raiders a tiny bit more than the Jags, and I can't, in good conscience, go with the under here. So give me the Vegas money line. That's all I got to say about this game.
Love it. Just a score update on this first round playoff game. Notre Dame just scored again. So it's about to be 14-0 against Indiana in the second quarter of that game.
It's what we need.
We got the 49ers making the cross-country trip to South Florida to take on the Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins are a -1 point favorite here. I'm going to take the Dolphins money line. I know I'm going to regret it, but I'm going to take the Dolphins to win this game. The 49ers are virtually out of the playoffs. They have the slimmest of chances. They have to win out, and a lot of other things have to happen. I've not been impressed with Brock Purdy's play. 2 out of the last 3 games, he has really, really struggled, but he is dealing with some injuries. They're a completely different team when they don't have Christian McCaffrey in the lineup. Jordan Mason is now hurt for them. They've been dealing with injuries on both sides of the ball all year long. Both teams have, really. Tyreek Hill sent out a cryptid sort of tweet telling coach he's done, so we'll see what that means. I'm going to take the Dolphins' money line at home. I think Tua will be able to find some plays downfield. They get enough in this one. I was also leaning towards the under here, but I'm going to go with the Dolphins' money line just to appease the people here. Scott, what do you got?
I am very proud of you. Look, the 49ers are traveling cross country. They do not have slim hopes at the playoffs. They have better than average hopes at the playoffs. They
have like the slimmest of chances. The slimmest of chances.
If they win out, which they don't have any division games left, but if they win out and the Rams, Seattle, and Arizona struggle in their last 3 games, which it could come down to the last week when they play the Cardinals. But they're 2 games back from winning the division. And there's 3 games left. 3 games left. 2 games back from winning the division. They're not out of it by any means. But the problem is their offense is unpredictable. You don't know what you're going to get. They've struggled. The one thing going for them is Brock Purdy just hooked up his offensive line with new Toyota Tundras and Toyota Sequoia cars for Christmas. They're going to be playing for their guy who just hooked them up with a nice gift. I don't know if that's actually going to translate. I'm just saying I think the 49ers are better than the Dolphins. Defensively, they're better than the Dolphins' offense. That's what I'm banking on. 49ers offense, we don't know what we're going to get. Dolphins offense, I think, is going to have a tough time against the 49ers defense, which has also struggled. So it could go either way. It's basically a pick 'em game. For me, I do not trust the Dolphins. I'll trust the 49ers over the Dolphins. Give me the 49ers +1. They're not out of it. They are not out of it. They got something to play for.
All right. Moving on, we got the Bucks taking on I have no idea, honestly, who they're playing.
They're playing the Choke Boys. Exactly. We
Cowboys?
have no clue who they're playing.
Yeah, give me the Buccaneers. Give me the Buccaneers -4. Baker Mayfield going back to Dallas. He's going to light up the scoreboard in this one. Mike Evans, he's on the pursuit to get 1,000 yards receiving still on the season. He needs like 250, I think, through these last 3 games. Give me the Bucks -4 to go get it done in Dallas. They still have a shot at the playoffs, but they have to win out. They have a shot at their division, really. So, yeah, give me the Bucks -4. They have a lot to play for here. What do you got?
Yeah, a lot to play for. You said it. Baker Mayfield's playing well. Bucky's playing well. 117 yards last week. Evans, 9 receptions, 160 yards, 2 touchdowns last week. We're entering the point of the season where people are trying to get those bonuses, those stat bonuses. So people are still playing hard. They dominated the Chargers last week. Baker Mayfield, 4 touchdowns, looking really good. The Choke Boys are the Choke Boys. We know how we feel about them. We hate them. I say me. I think Miami hates them as well. I just don't see them performing well against a Buccaneers team that can be a buzzsaw, and they've performed very well. Bucks -4. I think they handle them. They have a lot to play for. You said it, and I think they're going to go in there and get it done.
All right, 3 games left here. Ian, I see you in the chat. Don't you dare pick 3 unders. I swear to God.
He'll do it.
Yeah, don't tempt me with a good time, buddy. All right, we got 3 games left here. Packers are taking on the New Orleans Saints. Saints are making their trip to Lambeau Field. Derek Carr is supposed to be doubtful. Jake Haener, they started him last week. He was absolutely terrible. They put in Spencer Rattler. He was able to at least do something, made the game against the Commanders reasonable, almost won the game. They had a 2-point conversion at the end that they didn't get. A little bit of help from the refs. Now they're making their trip to Lambeau. Total sitting at 42.5. Packers are favored by 14. I'm on the Packers here, Scott. It's a big spread. I just do not trust New Orleans to come ready in this one. It's going to be absolutely freezing in Lambeau. I just don't have faith in this offense at all to find a way to get it done against the Packers. I think the Packers pull away. I think it's low scoring for the most part, but the Packers are built for this. Packers could put up 30, 40 on their own. I just don't see how the Saints offense gets going. So give me the Packers minus 14. Scott, what do you got?
Yeah, you basically said it's prime time in Lambeau. It's going to be cold. It's a tough place to play, especially if you're coming from New Orleans and your team is unpredictable. Green Bay Packers are well-rounded. Josh Jacobs. Look, they have a good team. They have wide receivers that aren't well-known that play fantastic. It's just the Packers' way of doing things. Jordan Love playing good. Defense playing good right now. They're coming together, which is what they do every year. The problem with the Packers is, so first off, I think they handle the Saints. It's a lot of points. I'm staying away from the spread because it's quite a bit. I'm going to go with the over 42 and a half here because I think points will be scored, but it's a ton of points for a spread. The problem with the Packers is they're sitting third in the NFC North right now with 10 wins. Detroit and Minnesota both 12-2.
Wow.
The problem is they're going to have to fight for a wild card spot. They need the wins to secure it. They're not 100% in the playoffs. I think something crazy could happen in the NFC. It's unfortunate. You know, they could have 11, 12 wins and they could finish third in their division, which is crazy. Besides the Bears, that's probably the best division in football right now. But yeah, give me the Packers at home. I think they win. It's just a lot of points, which is scary. But I'll take the over 42 and a half.
Yeah, I think that's a bit of foreshadowing for next year's in-season Hard Knocks, Scott. If I had to bet, it's probably going to be the NFC North. All right, 2 games
Give
left
me Dan
here.
Campbell.
It would be a good one. I'd love to see Kevin O'Connell and how his brain works on a week-in, week-out basis.
Yeah, I'd
Give
love to see how
me
that works.
the Colts and the Titans, Scott. You didn't want this one, and I wanted it for one specific reason. This one's absolutely atrocious. And for that reason, ladies and gentlemen, Ian,
Does anyone want to guess
this
in the
one's
chat?
for you. This one's for Ian in the chat. We're going to go with under 42.5 in this Colts-Titans game. It is going to be a snore fest. It is going to be sloppy. Mason Rudolph is getting the start for the Titans. They have finally benched Will Levis, which has been long overdue. I lean the Titans in this game, but I can't do it because Ian wanted those 3 unders, so I got to give it to him. Give me the under 42.5. Colts are still alive in the playoffs, but Anthony Richardson cannot hit the right side of a barn. His accuracy is atrocious. Great athlete. Sky's the limit for his talent and his skill and ability, but man, his accuracy needs some work. Give me the under 42.5 in this one. It's going to be ugly. Scott, what do you got?
Yeah, this game's ugly. You mentioned it. Anthony Richardson's QBR rating right now is 42.7. It's not very good. The Colts are feisty, but they're also all over the place. Beat the Jets, scoring 28 points. Lose to the Lions, scoring 6 points. Beat the Patriots, scoring 25 points. Lose to the Broncos, scoring 13 points. If we follow the trend against the Titans, should be where they're putting up 20-plus points. The Titans are an interesting team. That's how I'll describe them. I don't trust them either. Their quarterback, revolving door. None of them are good. They're just an average NFL team, and I think the Colts are a little bit better because of the athletes they have. Shout out to Kenny Moore, Valdosta State alumni playing for the Colts. Valdosta State will be playing for the national championship tomorrow at noon Mountain Time. Shout out to them. But yeah, I mean, Indianapolis isn't out of it. They have something to play for. I just don't think it's going to be a very exciting game. I do not trust either team here, but you won't catch me caving and betting the under. So give me the over head-to-head here, over 42.5.
Love it. Love it. All right, going into the final game of the evening, we got the Vikings taking on the Seahawks, going out west to Seattle. It's supposed to be rainy. It's supposed to be a little chilly. Typical Seattle weather for this one. Vikings are a 3-point favorite. Total sitting at 42.5. I'm going with the Vikings. Taking a money line. I took the Packers last week in the same role. They were going out to Seattle. And it's for the same reason that I'm taking the Vikings. I can't trust Geno Smith. His inconsistency this year. Jameis Winston just got benched in Cleveland with basically the exact same passing stats as Geno Smith is for the Seahawks, and Geno Smith has this team potentially in the playoffs. Kind of wild. I think they're phony. I think the Vikings are legit, one of the best defenses in the league. Surprisingly, one of the better offenses as well, led by Sam Darnold. He's having a career year. I think that continues. You mentioned earlier, Lions and Vikings are neck and neck for first place in the division, first place seed in the NFC. Big game here for the Vikings, big game for the Seahawks and their playoff hopes, but I think the Seahawks are a couple pieces away. They've had a lot of injuries this year, especially on the defensive side of the football. They are getting DK Metcalf back in this one. Geno Smith is supposed to go. Kenneth Walker, their running back, I think, is supposed to be back for the Seahawks here. So a lot of big pieces are coming back for them. Unfortunately, I think it's a little bit too little too late, and they're going against a team that they're playing for something, and they have been playing really good football all year long consistently. So unfortunately for the Seahawks, I just don't think they're going to get it done. Also, their home record this year has been terrible, when usually it's one of their stronger parts of that team, the 12th man that they have in that stadium. I think the Vikings get it done. Give me the Vikings money line. Scott, what do you got?
Yeah, you mentioned it. It might not be the best weather, current forecast, some rain, but look, the 12th man is not what it used to be. The Legion of Boom is non-existent. Geno Smith and Darnold, if you compare their yards, they're both around 3,600 yards. But the big difference comes Darnold has 29 touchdowns and 11 picks, and Geno Smith has 14 touchdowns on 13 picks. So Darnold's playing really well. You mentioned a career year. What they're doing up there as a team is impressive. Jones is going to be over 1,000 yards after this game. Justin Jefferson will be over 1,300 yards after this game. He just needs 60 more to get there. They're playing well, and you mentioned it. Their offense can score points, but what's really, for me, the factor with Minnesota is their defense is the real deal. Seahawks are going to struggle to put up points, and if Minnesota's offense just plays how they have been playing and how they've continued to prove me wrong, because earlier in the season I did not think that this is the Minnesota we'd see towards the end of the season. I think they'll win this game. It's a must-win for Minnesota. If you look at it, if they win, they put the pressure on the Lions, right? They're tied 12-2. Someone's got to win the NFC North. Seattle, they're right there in their division too. I just don't see how they can outlast the Lions here. It could be sneaky. There could be some home field advantage. It's a gross game. Maybe it's a rushing game. Maybe it rains. It's cold. There's not as much passing. And for that reason, I'm scared that the Seahawks could sneak in there and cover at the end of the game. I still think points are going to be scored. I trust the Vikings. I don't trust Seattle, but something over here is like, hold on, Seattle at home. There's a reason to play. They might cover. And for that reason, I'm terrified of the spread, and I'm going to take the over 42.5. I think the over is a little low, and I like that. But I just, the spread is there's something just over here in the back of my mind that's keeping me from committing to that spread in this game.
And the analysis is like-minded with old Pompano Joe in the chat there, Scotty. So,
and the Seahawks will squeak
nice.
It out in the fourth. You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen.
You love it. You love it. Let me throw up the recap here for this week. Let me make sure we got it here.
Yeah, we're trying to look.
Recap.
We got 3 weeks left.
There we go.
He's technically only down 12. It's doable. He can catch me, but I'm not going to let it happen. I won't let it happen. Yeah. If you keep getting one on me week after week, I'll still be 9 up by the end of the season. I do want to say I love Jamar Chase to score. I love Saquon Barkley, James Conner, Mike Evans, Justin Jefferson, James Cook, and Josh Jacobs. Those are my favorite anytime touchdown scorers of the week. I'm looking forward to it. Should be a good week of football. Tomorrow's going to be a great day of football. I cannot wait. I've got nothing to do but sit in the couch and watch football all day long. I'm pumped. I am very excited.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Yes, also, Evelyn, shout out shopcya.com. Make sure you check them out. Shout out to our sponsor. Make sure you cover those assets. And Your gooblies and gooblies. All right, we
Yeah,
got
your gooblies and goblets. Protect them,
your
people.
gooblies and goblets. Make sure you protect them. All right, thank you to everybody who was watching. Thank you to the people in the chat. We appreciate it. We will see you next week for our next edition of the NFL show for Week
And
17.
Week 17.
Yes.
We should make this decision now because I will be in Buffalo for Week 17 at the Buffalo Jets game shirtless. So we need to figure out. I'm flying in Thursday, so I can do it from Buffalo.
Well, maybe we do it Wednesday. Maybe we do it on Christmas Day.
Maybe there's good football on that day as well.
Because the college show will be this
Yeah.
Monday, so it's a little bit moved up this week. So that Wednesday, we have that Wednesday window if we wanted it, or maybe Tuesday. Because I think there might be some Christmas football on Wednesday actually. So maybe we'll do it Tuesday.
There is Christmas football, big game, Kansas City Steelers. But you know what? The easiest way to know what we're going to do is to click that subscribe button, and you'll get a notice when we put the show out there.
Boom. Love it. Love the mic drop, Scott. Yeah, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and get that bell notifications. Get the bell notifications. Get that ring when we go live. All right. We're signing off for the night. Thank you for hopping on with us this Friday evening. Indiana, Notre Dame. We're about to go watch that. Good luck to everybody this week, and we will see you next week.